Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to talk about the tort of nuisance. Now, the tort of nuisance involves activities or conditions that interfere with another person's enjoyment of their land. It can be categorized into private and public nuisance. Private nuisance occurs when there is an unreasonable interference with someone else's use or enjoyment of their private property. For instance, excessive noise from a neighbor's house party could constitute a private nuisance. On the other hand, public nuisance refers to actions that affect the rights of the public or a significant portion of the community, such as illegally blocking a public road. In Singapore, the tort of nuisance is governed by common law principles shaped by precedents and case law. To establish a claim for private nuisance, the plaintiff must prove several key elements. First, there must be substantial interference with the plaintiff's use or enjoyment of their land. This interference could take various forms, such as physical damage, noise, unpleasant smells, or excessive light. Secondly, the interference must be unreasonable. Courts assess unreasonableness by considering factors such as the duration, the frequency, and the intensity of the interference, as well as the nature of the neighborhood where the nuisance occurs. Third, there must be a clear causal link between the defendant's actions or omissions and the interference. Finally, the plaintiff must have a legal interest in the property affected by the nuisance. For public nuisance, the plaintiff must demonstrate that the defendant's actions interfered with a public right and that they suffered special damage beyond what the general public experienced. Once nuisance is established, there are several remedies available to the affected party. Injunctions may be granted by the court to require the defendant to stop the nuisance. For example, a court could order a factory to reduce its noise levels or implement measures to control emissions. Damages may also be awarded as monetary compensation for physical damage to property, financial losses, or personal discomfort caused by the nuisance. In some cases, the affected party may take lawful steps to stop the nuisance themselves through a process known as abatement. For instance, a homeowner might trim overhanging branches from a neighbor's tree that interferes with their property. To understand how nuisance operates in practice, consider a few scenarios. A resident living next to a karaoke bar might find their sleep disturbed by loud music continuing late into the night. If the noise is excessive and unreasonable, they could bring a claim for private nuisance. In another case, consider a company conducting unauthorized road works that block a main road for hours, causing the significant delays for the public. This could amount to public nuisance. A third example involves a restaurant improperly disposing of waste, resulting in foul smells that permeate a neighboring home. If the smells are persistent and unreasonable, the affected neighbor could sue for private nuisance. The tort of nuisance is an important legal mechanism that balances one's right to use their property as they wish with another's right to enjoy their property without interference. The tort of nuisance is an important legal mechanism that balances one person's right to use their property as they wish with another's right to enjoy their property without interference. In a densely populated country like Singapore, where neighbors live in close proximity, these issues are particularly relevant. Resolving nuisance disputes often requires balancing competing interests and applying common sense. Courts also encourage parties to settle disputes amicably whenever possible. Ultimately, the law on nuisance reminds us of the importance of respecting boundaries and being considerate to those around us. By fostering mutual respect and understanding, we can build more harmonious communities. That's all for today's video. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.